turn their speakers on. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Well, I'm glad she's all right.
Thank you.
Councilmember Mazzoni is absent tonight. Councilmember Nicholas, or excuse me, Commissioner Nicholas, my apologies. Commissioner Palmer,
Yep.
Commissioner Parham,
Present.
and Chair Zinda.
Here. So are we going to get a staff report right off the bat here? That's okay.
I was just asking about applicant's engineer. I'm expecting him to be here. Hey, you want to give him a minute? Well, it'll take a while to get stuff. Really nothing big, here, so. Okay, this is a minor subdivision.
I can barely hear you. I usually do it afterwards. Because staff reports must be down there.
This is a minor subdivision. Basically, a minor subdivision has 4 or less parcels. Now, there is a tricky part to this, the way this has gone. The original project was back in 1999, when they created the space for the pilot, and then also a very large remainder where we're at today. And I believe maybe a couple parcels for, I forgot what it actually was. I wasn't here in 99, but come 2016, I think a few of us were here, and they took and did a further subdivision that created the grocery outlet. I think that's when the grocery outlet was created, parcel. And so they did that with another parcel map. Now, my old understanding of the Subdivision Map Act was that when you do up to 5, like you could make one parcel map, you created 2, and then you made 3 more. Well, all of a sudden, the next time you had to do a tentative map. Well, that's true for like subdivisions that are for residential or, ag or something like that. But in the Subdivision Map Act, there's a section, I do cite it in here, exempts parcel maps, the requirement of a tentative map for subdivisions that are intended for commercial or industrial uses. And I cited that in here. When I see it, I'll let it know. I think it's Government Code 66426C, I believe, if you notice seeing that in there. But anyway, this is that same piece of property. The last time we visited this, we probably had this whole thing here was probably one big remainder. So then they did a lot line adjustment to make this parcel more like square, so it could fit the Dollar Tree. And so here we got this here is being created for the purpose of, right now, the person that owns the taco truck is buying it. And that's going to be where they park. So that's another kind of part. There's no building involved. It's, he's on wheels. So that's what the purpose of this subdivision is. So
Good for the taco truck.
yeah, pretty much. And then it does create this nice remainder parcel here that's pretty much sized right for another commercial development. So essentially, the first project, 1999, was subject to CEQA, and they had a mitigated negative declaration adopted. And so that covered the basis for a lot of things except for some building, like if they were going to build a larger piece, like let's say someone bought the 25-acre piece and, was going to do a lot of things to it. We might have to go back and look at things such as, biology or something. But since then, we have been looking at it, and the whole site has been disturbed. So we've used the infill exemption for such projects as like grocery outlet and Dollar Tree. But this one is still more closer to the original project, since it was a subdivision. So what I'm proposing here is what's called an addendum to the mitigated negative declaration. It's attached here, and an addendum to mitigated negative declarations, and an EIR for that matter, are appropriately done when the project, which still is the 1999 project, is changing technically, but the changes are still, they do not cause any additional environmental impacts. So in this case, we have the same mitigations in place. We have traffic mitigation plans. We have a drainage plan that's already been adopted and used. So all that's hook-upable, and then if there is a building permit issued eventually on the project, like graduate maybe from a taco truck to a restaurant, well, then that's when the mitigation for traffic kicks in. So everything is kind of already pre-mitigated. So the conditions that are required to be in place for an addendum to be adopted are there, and I've kind of put that on the record in the addendum. A couple findings we have to make, and I believe that it's covered. So in 2016, we did the same thing. We did an addendum to the original 1999 mitigated negative declaration. So essentially, we have two parcels. One is still the remainder. Parcel 1 is about just about an acre, about 0.95 of an acre. They are abutting a public right-of-way, and there already is curb and gutter there. They'll probably someday have to put a driveway cut in, to get his truck up and down, or not. I'm not really sure how that's going to work. Craig?
Yeah, they might want to create their own parking too.
Yeah, they're going to have, something, but we'll see. That's not really what we're worried about
Right.
here.
We're not giving him permission to park the truck there, he's just trying to buy a lot.
No, they've already got permission to park the truck
Yeah, so all
there.
he wants to do is buy the lot, so what he uses it for right now is not our concern, correct?
Pretty much, but I'm just giving you the heads up about why we're not going to be requiring him to pay into the traffic impact fees at this time, because there is no building permit.
Yeah.
See, all that stuff's triggered at building permit time. That's when you hook up to this, you pay the fees for this, you pay the hookup fees, you design the engineer to make sure that your drainage is going to fit in the pond, all that kind of stuff. But this is just dividing property right now.
Yeah, he's just buying a lot.
Yeah, we're creating an additional parcel out of this one, which was once a 3-acre remainder.
Oh, he's not already been split off once before?
Well, no, this used to be a remainder, all of this,
One
yeah.
lot.
And so now we're still
Dividing it.
keeping a remainder, which is now a 2-acre remainder, which is probably something that I don't think the next person is going to want to divide unless they only need an acre. I'm not really sure. But like I said, if this was like a residential type of subdivision, we would be doing a tentative map on this. This is like a parcel map to the tentative map. That's how the engineer put it to me. But without that, it's pretty clear in the Subdivision Map Act that these type of subdivisions are exempt from the tentative map. And plus, the Map Act does give the city lots of leeway to waive the requirement of a tentative map. So this is kind of simple, and this is kind of like almost what 1999 put into motion. So things are just building out and getting developed or used. So we have to make those findings that are at the end of the, here's one thing I just want to read out of the staff report. Uh-oh. Okay. Pursuant to the Subdivision Map Act, a jurisdiction shall deny a map if it makes any of the findings below. The proposed map is not consistent with the general or specific plan. In this case, we're fine. We have all the right general plan designations for this property. It's well established what the kind of goals we have for Area 6. The next finding is the design and improvement of the proposed subdivision is not consistent with the general plan or specific plan. there is no designs and improvement of the proposed subdivision. It's 2 lots. So what they mean by that is street widths and, all of the little, specific criteria. The site is not physically suitable for development. Well, that's not true either. Can't make that, that's not an issue because it is a 1-acre parcel and a 2-acre parcel, very suitable for development. Each of them are on public right-of-ways, and they have utilities served right up to them. The site is not suitable for the proposed density. While there is no actual proposed density, it's a commercial subdivision. The design of the improvements is likely to cause substantial environmental or damage to wildlife. That has already been established that it's not with the mitigated negative declaration that was passed, and then this project is still kind of under that wing. The design is likely to cause serious public health problems. No, this is, what we're doing is we're just taking one existing remainder parcel and cutting it in 2 and making one usable for someone and the other one for later. The design of the subdivision will conflict with public easements or access or use of within the subdivision. There's nothing on that. There are public easements. There are some things here that are identified as easements, and that's usually around the borders, and that's it. So I think this parcel map is ready to be forwarded to the the city council for their final approval and get it recorded. That's my staff report.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, before we go on to this, it doesn't look like we have any public comment because we have no public.
Right, and it is, a public hearing, so.
Do we have any conflicts of interest amongst us? No? Then we'll go on to the regular agenda, the tentative parcel map, and which Keith has just talked to us about. Does anyone have anything they care to say about this at this point?
Well, as Keith pointed out, this seems pretty straightforward as far as what the owner's intending to do here. I just had a question of curiosity. Do we have any other interested parties looking at the remainder parcel should this go through?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Yeah. You haven't heard anything of it? Okay.
And there's not a minimum on property splits over there, is there?
Believe there is, but it's like 10,000 square feet. So that's pretty small compared to an acre. Everybody wants an acre.
They're always doing quite a lot.
I mean, look, if you look at Grocery Outlet, that's probably the largest one there. We're gonna have, I don't know, it's an acre is what everybody wants.
He's buying a lot.
Yeah. I think it's great that he's actually buying the lot and, for future. I mean, right now the truck is great, but we might get a regular restaurant with a nice view there someday.
I don't know, somebody just bought the other Mexican restaurant, correct? Cliff sold.
Really? All
Cliff's
right.
gone.
What?
Cliff is gone. What?
He'll be back.
Cliff?
Oh, I didn't know he
Cliff is
sold it.
putting out in,
That's all I was
Shasta Vista.
reacting for it, because it might be an improvement, you never
He
know.
sold the restaurant
Okay.
to Mexican people.
Oh,
He bought a house in Mexico. I had to get a hold of him because he left his bus, one of his buses sitting there, where his buses are now picking up Mexicans at the border and bringing them to different parts of California and stuff.
okay.
Anyway,
Yeah. Thank
But
you.
yeah, he sold
Thank
the
you, Brian.
restaurant.
Yeah.
okay. So, anyone else? Okay, are we ready to make a motion
Well,
on
okay,
this?
I got a suggestion. We need to adopt the addendum to the mitigated negative declaration along with forwarding, approving of the design and whatever, and forwarding on to council. So we have to, it's a double.
So I will make a motion that we approve the tentative parcel map that was requested by the Ganem Land LLC and all, and that we also add the addendum to mitigate the negative declaration of CEQA and move this on to city council for approval.
Second.
All those who approve, say
Aye.
aye. Aye? Ayes have it. Did that cover it all, or do we still
You
need?
got it. Yeah,
We got
we
it.
adopted the mitigated
job.
addendum,
Thank you.
and then we
I'm a quick learner.
forwarded this on to
Well,
council.
That doesn't help it might be the garden. Roadkill stew is pretty good. You think those elk disappear on their own up there by Grass Lake, you're wrong.
At this point, I believe we can approve the minutes from the last meeting. Those are approved. Do any commissioners have anything to report? No? Okay. The one thing I am going to say is I am planning to, at the minimum, step down as chair at the end of the year. I'm planning on hopefully doing some traveling next year, and it'll just be too confusing. Depending on where we're at with the commissions and everything, I might stay on till our next voting as a regular commissioner, but I would like to step away from being chair at the end of the year, just so you guys all know.
So don't try to nominate her, that's what she's saying. Don't even think about it.
Probably sounds like a good idea. How's retirement treating you?
I'm leaving this week.
Where you going?
East.
Seriously?
There you go.
East to where?
Nevada, Utah.
Get out of the smoke a little.
Yeah, somewhere with clean air.
I'm gonna go to Vegas, look at tow trucks, I'm gonna cut across to Bakersfield, try to get a new loader, because we put our governor back in, so we have to replace our equipment. I mean, the equipment that's gonna get held in California.
Why don't we wrap this up before we,
You know, it's gonna be a lot. So that's what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go goof off and try to find me a loader.
there you go. In that case, I make a motion to adjourn,
Second.
and we are adjourned. Hey, that's a good
Go
show.
ahead.
So,